Welcome, everyone, to the 10th webinar in our 23-24 virtual meeting series. And this is the third session of our industry patient care programs and resources. So tonight we have Susan Flynn with Amicus. And as we usually do, we will do introductions, and then we will have question and answers, and then a prize drawing. But I'm going to introduce Casey McKenna, and then Casey is going to introduce Susan again for the second time in a short time, and then Susan will provide the presentation. So Casey McKenna is a Senior Program Manager for Education and Community Support for the NFDF. And with that, Casey, you're up.
Great. Thanks, Jerry. As Jerry said, we are pleased today to welcome Susan Flynn. Susan is a registered nurse and currently a patient education liaison at Amicus. She has spent her career empowering patients and families through education and self-advocacy. She continues her passion of empowering patients in her current role at with Amicus Therapeutics. Additionally, Susan volunteers with nonprofit agencies such as Samaritans and the Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps. So welcome, Susan. And I should say that while Susan is giving her presentation, feel free to put any questions you might have in the chat, and I'll read them at the end, okay? Welcome, Susan.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Casey, and Brittany, thank you for your help as well. And Jerry, thank you for inviting me to share some information with people about the Amicus Assist program. I hope everyone's having a good evening, and I am going to share my screen.
And thank you for being here with us, Susan.
There we go. So let me just exit out of this. I can't see you guys so that I can see my screen. But please, if you do have any questions that can't wait until the end, I'm here, and please speak up or reach out. So welcome to Amicus Assist Patient Support. The Amicus Patient Support Program. So it's offered to all patients that live in the United States that are prescribed an Amicus medication, and the program offers support throughout the patient journey. How it happens, or how you get signed into Amicus Assist, is your doctor will send in a patient referral form, and you've either already signed that form and given consent, or a case manager will reach out to you and obtain consent for you to become a part of Amicus Assist. And then you'll be assigned both sorry, I don't know what's going on there. You'll be assigned both a case manager and a patient education liaison. So there is a little bit of difference between the two. So let's talk about what those two roles are and how they differ. So what is a patient education liaison? The role of a patient education liaison, often referred to as a PEL, and just to make it easier for me not to trip over, that's how I'll refer to it throughout this presentation. But the role of the PEL is to provide education and support to patients and families. Your PEL will talk to you on the phone and can also meet with you either virtually or in person. The PEL role is meant to be ongoing throughout the treatment journey, but it is designed to be patient-centered, since the needs of patients change over time and differ from person to person. So some patients will interact with a PEL more frequently than other patients, and some patients a PEL will reach out to proactively. Other patients will have a period of time where the PEL reaches out proactively, and then where the patient calls in if they have updated educational needs or any issues with support. And together with your PEL, you'll work together to create a plan that works best for your individual needs. So what do PELs do? We provide education and support to patients and their families. We don't ever offer medical advice, and we'll always refer you back to your physician for that. We can answer questions about your disease process and your Amicus medication. We'll provide educational materials and we'll review them with you. We'll help you to understand your Amicus medication. We'll teach you how to take it, how it works in the body, what the potential side effects are, and what to expect from therapy. We'll also help you to prepare for doctor's appointments so that you can have more productive conversations. And we'll provide you a list of community resources where you can connect with others who are living with Fabry disease. So now I would like to introduce you to your PELs. On the left here, we have Rebecca. Rebecca is in the central region of the country. Leslie is in the west. Kathy is in the southeast, and I am up here in the northeast. So now let's talk about the role of the case manager. So the case manager is there to help navigate access to therapy, and your case manager will be your primary point of contact at Amicus Assist. They'll reach out to you monthly, either by phone or through email. Your case manager will work closely with you, with your doctor's office, and with the specialty pharmacy. They'll verify and explain your insurance coverage. They'll help to coordinate refills and delivery of your medication, and they'll also identify and explain possible sources of financial assistance. So financial assistance with Amicus there's 3 possible sources that we'll talk about. So the copay assistance program, this is eligible to all commercially insured patients living in the United States. Patients may pay as little as $0 per month for treatment. And then the patient assistance program is also for eligible uninsured or underinsured patients living in the United States. This program also provides free product to those who qualify. And then support from independent foundations. These are foundations that exist outside of Amicus, and they have their own eligibility criteria and application processes. But your case manager can help you navigate the best option for financial assistance, depending on your individual circumstances. And I'd like to introduce you to your case managers. We have Sam, who covers the West and part of the Central region. Shakira covers the Northeast. Amanda covers the Central region. Andrea Marie covers the West, and Martina covers the Southeast. 2 of our case managers, both Sam and Amanda, are fluent in Spanish. And all of the PELs and the case managers have access to a language line where there's interpreters available to assist with other languages. And this concludes my portion, this portion, but I do want to review the Amicus Assist website with you. So I'm going to X out of here. So Amicus Assist website, to get here, you just type in amicusassist.com and it will bring you, this is the home page. So it'll bring you, when you come to this page, you'll see you can separate depending on disease state. So for Fabry, you would go here to this orange box and click on it. I just want to highlight a couple of things. Over here on the right is where you see Amicus Assist. The phone number is 833-264-2872. It is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then it's also here in Spanish as well for patients that are not able to read English. So I'll scroll down just a little bit. A couple of things I want to show you. Here, the FAQs. This is a great place to start. On the website, again, this is showing you Amicus Assist, but I want to show you a little bit more. I'm going to click on the Fabry support. And this brings us to the page that's dedicated to Fabry. And there's a ton of resources here. I'm not going to show them all, but I am going to highlight them. Now, some of the things I just covered with you are here as well. So this is where talks about a patient education liaison that I just talked about, as well as a case manager. But I want to highlight this here. I'm going to click on it so you can see. This is where you can connect with a PEL. So you fill out this form, and once you fill it out, it will connect you with the PEL in your territory. And I want to highlight that Amicus did not have the PEL role until 2022. So there are some patients out there who've never connected with a patient education liaison. If you are one of those patients, or you have a family member that's one of those patients, certainly come here and fill out that form so that we can engage with you. We do welcome anyone who would like to learn a little bit more. And then I'm going to go back over. As I scroll down, you'll see the information about our copay assistance programs. And then this is where we come to resources. So what I'll highlight here is I'm going to highlight 3 tools that will help you have conversation with your physician. So there's the Fabry discussion driver. This is a website, and I'm going to click on it to show you the website. This is where you go. This is an interactive tool. I'm not going to go all the way through it, but basically any place you see an I, it's going to explain the term. So there's a lot of terms in this that are medical, but it helps you to understand what those terms are. And at the very end, you can email the form to yourself. You can print it out. You can make it a PDF and print it out so that you can take it with you to your doctor's appointment. It's important to know that the information you put in this tool is for your eyes only. No information will ever be saved or stored on the website. So once you exit the browser, whatever you've put in there ends. I'm going to go just to the next page to give you an idea of what it looks like. But here it looks at the different body symptoms that are affected by Fabry disease. And you click on each plus, and it takes you into different symptoms. So if you had, for example, cramping as a symptom, you click on it, and then you would click what the severity was. There is a place on here, just going to scroll down, and each of these pages is similar, where you can put in a symptom that's not there. You type in the symptom here that you're having, and here you can free write. So it's a really nice tool to have. It helps you to set goals. It helps you to identify areas that you want to discuss with your doctor that are important to you. You know, when we go to the doctor, our doctor has an agenda that they want to cover, and they have goals for that visit. It's important for us as patients to go in there with our own agenda and our own goals so that we make sure that we leave there feeling as though our questions are all answered. So another tool that you can use for that is the Fabry Effects Checklist. This is a downloadable resource, so I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. And this also goes by symptoms. So this you can print out and use a pen or pencil and check off the symptoms that you're experiencing. There's also an area here at the bottom where you can free write. And then you would take that with you to your doctor's office. Now, I want to show you the Fabry tracker. This is also a downloadable resource. You can print it out. And this has basically, depending on, so it's highlighted again by body system, and it gives you an idea of the parts of the body that might be affected by Fabry and the type of monitoring that your physician may want to do. Now, full disclosure, not every patient with Fabry is the same. All patients are different. And so depending on your individual circumstances, your doctor may or may not follow the guideline of that Fabry tracker. That's a general guideline. Your doctor is going to follow what is best for you. And then I want to also highlight the fabryconnect.com. And this is a website that I'm going to go to and spend a little bit more time on. It has some really great information. It is very, very comprehensive. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to come to this area where it says see resources. And down here, there's a lot of stuff to go through. So I talked a little bit about the Fabry disease discussion driver. We also have a family tree builder. And this website, and I'll click on it just to give you an idea of what that looks like. If you are a person with Fabry, you would enter here. If you're a family member, you would enter here. Basically, what this website does is it allows you to put in information about your family so that you can identify who might be at risk for having Fabry disease. Talks a little bit about what are the next steps and some resources. So another really good site to go on yourself and also to share with family members that might be questioning whether or not they're at risk. If we scroll down here, you're going to see some videos. These are real patients with Fabry, and they talk about their experience with Fabry. If we go on a little further, these are explanatory videos. These are educational in nature, and you have healthcare professionals that are talking about various aspects of Fabry disease and how it might affect you. So definitely something to look at. This video here is on Fabry progression. I encourage all my patients to view this video. Sometimes, it helps if you're not feeling many symptoms. It helps to understand how Fabry is progressing. And sometimes, even if you're not feeling symptoms, things are going on in your body that are changing. So that helps to explain that a little bit. Then if we go a little further down here, there's a bunch of downloadable resources. So some of the ones that I showed you on Amicus Assist are also on here. So like this one, the Fabry tracker. But this is a visual guide to understanding Fabry. This is very comprehensive. This talks about the genetics of Fabry. It talks about what causes Fabry, what the symptoms are. It talks about treatment options. Definitely, it will also show you a body and the different parts of the body that might be affected. It talks about variants and why they're important. So this is a very good piece. This is downloadable. The Women in Fabry brochure is also downloadable and very valuable if you are a woman with Fabry or if you have a woman with Fabry in your life. And then these are some brochures that dive a little bit deeper into different areas that are commonly affected. So pain in Fabry, understanding and managing gastrointestinal symptoms, hearing loss, and then fatigue, testing for Fabry disease. So this talks about genetic testing. Again, the Fabry effects checklist that I covered earlier. And then we have a health insurance 101 brochure. This is helpful just to have an idea of what to expect. And every family with Fabry has a story to tell. This is really good too. This is experiences that patients have had and their families. And then for students, we have two. Well, this is not just for students, the peer-to-peer brochure. This can be used for to share with friends or family members that don't have Fabry. or colleagues even that you may want to share, someone maybe that you work with frequently and you want them to understand why you're feeling the way you feel, or why you're more tired one day than another day. This is February frequently asked questions for students in school. This is very valuable for parents to send to the school nurse or the student's teacher. You can also have it go off with your child to college, and they can bring it to their student medical resource to kind of educate them a little bit about Fabry disease. And then lastly, as we scroll down, we have the various patient advocacy organizations. And if you hover over each one, you can click on it and it will take you to the various websites, so that you can click on them. And here we are, National Fabry Disease Foundation. So that is it for my presentation. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And please, if you have any questions, I would love to hear about what questions you have so that I can answer them.
Thank you, Susan. Now, there was one question that was put in the chat right at the beginning, so I think you've already answered it, but might as well make sure, right?
Sure.
This patient is new to Fabry diagnosis and just began treatment with Galafold, and they're asking, is there a copay assistance program available?
There is. And you can reach out to your case manager, or you can go in, if you haven't heard from Appel, you can go in and fill out that form and Appel will reach out to you. And if any other questions come up, definitely be able to answer those questions as well.
Susan, I have a question.
Yes.
So in the beginning of your presentation, when you were introducing the PELs, I think, you mentioned that you could go to the language center or something like that.
We have it. Yes. So we have at Amicus Assist, we have a language line where we would call a third party who would be able to translate for us. And we do use that with patients to help educate people that are not English speaking. And we do have some Spanish speaking resources, but they're limited. So it's really helpful to have, and we don't have other languages in resources. So it's helpful to have an interpreter that can provide some of that education. That way we're still able to answer questions and make sure that people are comfortable, not only with taking their medication, but that they're taking it correctly and that they understand their disease process as well.
No, it sounds like a great resource. I'm interested in hearing more about it later. I just wanted to hear a little bit about it to understand what you're doing. But thank you. That's a good resource.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the group out there? And of course, these programs have been around for a while, so many of you are probably very familiar with them. I always enjoy the graphics, as in most of the programs. There are some unique graphics in the Amicus program that I think are really good. And they're such, we benefit from having various resources available from all the industry companies. And they're, of course, going to be very similar, but also they have very unique ways of presenting things, and everything that we read, we accumulate into our knowledge of Fabry disease. So we appreciate all of that. So as usual, we had at least 33 registrants tonight, and we always get less than half. We're happy with that because the benefit is we're satisfied with that. We always like more, but the benefit is that we record the sessions and people can join in or listen to the recordings later and gain information. So this is great. So I think now, if there are no final questions, if you either unmute and ask your question or put it in the chat quickly, and otherwise we will move on to the prize drawing. Okay. I don't see anyone starting to type, so we'll move on. Thank you very much, Susan, for your presentation, and thank you for Amicus for all that you do for the Fabry community. And we will set up. Casey, would you set up the prize drawing, please?
Sure. So there's a prize drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card for our primary attendees. Now, you are a primary attendee if you are an adult and you live in the United States, and you either have Fabry or are a caregiver or of someone who has Fabry. So those of us visiting from industry or other support organizations would not be eligible. And if you'd like to participate, you can write Amicus in the meeting chat, and then Jerry will take it from there. So Amicus.
Thank you, Casey. And Brittany, this time what we'll do is just send a message to me in the chat box, just to me. Tell me how many people we had enter. And I've got my application on my phone called random.org. So when Brittany gives me the number, and I'm going to type it into the random number generator, and the random number generator will provide us a winner. Okay, so Brittany has given me the number, and oops, I want to select one out of that number. Say generate. And Brittany, if you could tell us who number 5 is, please.
That is Joseph Carrick.
Hey, Joe, nice to see you again tonight, and congratulations on, we'll send you a $50 gift card. And if that is all, anybody else have any closing remarks or any fun things to share? Otherwise, thank you all for being here, and good night.
Oh, Jerry, I have
Oh.
something. We are having a special next webinar on 4/8. We're having an information session for our Falls Family Conference and Camp. So if you know anyone who might be interested in learning more, that will be in 2 weeks.
Great, thank you, Casey. And also, I didn't mention that after the next webinar on the preparation information for the family conference and camp, then we'll have a couple weeks after that, we'll have NORD to bring back NORD for an extension of our financial assistance programs. So those are the next 2 webinars that are coming up, and then we will go from there. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.